So on July 4th, that was Independence Day, and God was just saying that it's a day of freedom, just like the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And I was actually today, I think I saw the number that means unleavened. Yeah, I did see that number. I don't think I wrote it down, but I did see that number today, and God's just been kind of highlighting that too. So God was saying Independence Day represents freedom from oppression, and that is what your spouse is experiencing. Okay, so I did write it down in my notes here on the 4th. So 106 in Strong's means unleavened bread. So like Passover week, a picture of moral purity, separation from sin, and wholehearted devotion to God. So yeah, it was 106 that I actually saw today, but I did also see it on July 4th. So I didn't write it down today, but on July 4th I did write it down. So it's a picture of moral purity, separation from sin, and wholehearted devotion to God. So this is really the process that God is bringing these spouses through, being in this place of moral purity, being separated from the sin, and having a wholehearted devotion to God. So unleavened bread was commanded at the first Passover when the Lord delivered Israel from Egypt. And so, this idea of deliverance, And so I wrote down like the meaning of like Independence Day. And it marks the historic moment the 13 American colonies severed their political ties to Great Britain, and they separated themselves and became a free, independent nation. So again, there's this separation and these ties being severed. So then there was a question of what is the spiritual meaning of the 4th of July related to like faith and Christianity. So it says, for many, the holiday mirrors spiritual redemption. Just as the colonies sought emancipation from earthly tyranny, followers of Christ celebrate their inner freedom from the burdens of sin, guilt, and spiritual bondage. It acts as a time to thank the Creator for earthly blessings while prioritizing spiritual growth. So that was just something that the Lord highlighted to me, and I feel like it really kind of just ties into the spouse is being set free from the sin, from the bondage, from the things that were just keeping them stuck, the things that were holding them back and trying to kind of tear them down. Yeah, so they love you still, but they've been afraid to show it. But God is softening hearts and humbling them. So yeah, the Lord has been using you to refine them. And they won't admit it. Well, eventually they might, but they won't admit it, but you do have a strong effect on them. And they feel like they don't deserve anything from you because of the way that they treated you. But God is saying that you are His gift to your spouse. And God wants you to be gentle with them and treat their heart with care. So there's things that they're still overcoming, So you want to just, show them that grace. Yeah, they want another chance. And they know that you deserve better than the way that they treated you. So God is saying that He knows that you have experienced rejection and poor experiences in the past, but He wants you to know that nothing is too hard for Him. And so God was saying that He instructed Hosea to love Gomer, and He is instructing you to love your person. God said, she committed adultery, but I called him to marry her. I called him to be faithful to her. And then God was just saying, like, your spouse was unfaithful to God by rejecting God's will for their life, but God's will is for them to know Him. God's will is for them to receive what He has for them. So God just wants you to trust in His timing and just stay focused on your preparation and just keep going forward. So your spouse may have been at one point struggling with pride and actually kind of angry at God for the choices that they made. But they made those wrong choices because they weren't seeking God. So I just want you to rest and allow Him to work. You don't have to worry about anything. And just pray that they would stay in alignment with Him, and that, and just for their heart as well. And God has also been talking about a face-to-face meeting, and I'll get to that in a little bit as well. Yeah, I saw 1241, which means to gird, to fasten, or to prepare. So again, God is just speaking about preparedness and just being prepared.